2 months ahead of GM's big launch of the 2023 Cadillac Lyriq, orders are pouring in with 233,000 expressions of interest, as they're being called today. Yahoo Finance's Pras Subramanian is here with all the details. Pras.
Yeah, Jared, so Cadillac's EV transformation is beginning, right? So they just revealed that they're going to start production of the Lyriq EV SUV next week on March 21st at its retooled Tennessee plant, with deliveries then beginning this summer. And the all-wheel drive version of that car deliveries beginning next year. From an orders point of view, Jared, you mentioned that they had about over 200,000 pre-orders. They're going to start taking new orders on May 19th, but they're going to first work through those initial pre-orders that they had, selling that out within a day. It's going to work through its pre-orders first, and it expects around 10% of those pre-orders to convert to actual purchases. Now, turning to production, Cadillac says, since the reveal, quote, the interest in the Lyriq has been very strong. Therefore, we will continue to explore adding additional volume. So Reuters reports that Cadillac plans to build around 25,000 Lyriqs this year. That's up significantly from their original plan to build around 3,000. Now, from a specs point of view, the car will start around $59,990, which is fairly competitive in this segment. It'll have around 300 miles of range, Cadillac says, but that hasn't been tested by the EPA yet. When you consider the price of under $60,000, that's very competitive to the Tesla Model Y, which after a couple of recent price increases is around $63,000. One more thing, the Cadillac EV sedan, the Celestiq, Cadillac confirmed that production will begin next year for that that EV sedan, and we'll likely get a true reveal of that car coming up soon, possibly even this year.
And Pras, I'm looking at the Wi-Fi Interactive, specifically our EV heat map. And one thing that stands out is the Chinese stocks ADRs are really jumping today, along with the entire sector of Chinese names. And we see XPeng up 27%, Li Auto right there with it, NIO up 20%. But you take a look at a one-year chart, these are some really beaten down names. You can see them towards the bottom. And, thinking about all the regulatory pressures that China has put upon Alibaba and others, I don't recall them really going after these automakers. It just seems like they kind of got swept up in all the bearishness on these Chinese names. I'm just wondering if you've seen anything in the news media that indicates any kind of pressure from those authorities.
From the EV standpoint in China, the government has been very supportive of that industry, seeing it as a sort of a bright star in the economy. They want to support manufacturing, in particular EV production, and they've supported the companies that way with also plenty of incentives, including for companies like Tesla, incentives for them to actually sell EVs in the country. They really support the transformation of that auto industry there. In fact, companies like BYD also raising prices there recently. So yeah, Jared, I think that these Chinese EV automakers got swept up in the whole crackdown on a lot of these Chinese names that are happening on mainland China. And I think you're starting to see that the enthusiasm is slowly coming back to these Chinese EV names, especially names like NIO that are now on the Hong Kong exchange too, and then people can buy and sell there as well.
Yeah, and what's really giving those Chinese stocks a lift this morning is news that the government is going to support the dual listing, at least for a time. Yahoo Finance's Pras Subramanian, thank you for that report.